The table shows information about the frame size in centimeters of 60 bicycles sold in a shop. Write down the modal class. Modal class, guys, most common, it's this class because there's 18. That's the highest frequency. So the class is this. It's S greater than 42, less than or equal to 48. Work on an estimate for the mean frame size. Right, guys, to do this, we get the midpoint of this. I'm going to make a new column, call it midpoint. So middle of 30 and 36 is 33, then 39, 45, 51, and 57. And then I do midpoint times frequency. So I just multiply this times this. That's 120, 140, sorry, 132. 14 times 39. Okay, I need my calculator for this, guys. 14 times 39 is 546. 546. 18 times 45. 18 times 45 is 810. 19 times 51. 969, and 5 times this is 285. Okay, so the mean is equal to the sum of these. Add all these up. 132 plus 546 plus 810 plus 969 plus 285, and divide by the total frequency, which is not 5, guys, it's 60. There's 60 bicycles, so all of that divided by 60. Let's do that over here, guys. That is 132 plus 546 plus 810 plus 969 plus 285, which is that, divided by 60, which is this. That divided by 10 is 45.7. So that's the mean, 45.7. Question 2. The diagram shows a solid triangular prism. Work out the total surface area. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, so guys, we have obviously a triangular prism, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. So there's the 2 triangles, a rectangle at the bottom, a rectangle at the side, and then this kind of slanted rectangle. So I'm going to call the triangle area 1. I'll call this other triangle area 2. I'll call this bottom face area 3, and I'll call this side face area 4. And then the tricky one for me to label here would be this side face here. So this is the kind of slanted face, and I'll call this with green area 5, just so that's clear. Okay, now we need to just get the area of all 5 faces and then add them together. So the first area is this times this divided by 2. It's a triangle, so I just do 3.6 times 4.8, and I divide by 2 because it's a triangle. This is, let's do this right now, 3.6 times 4.8 divided by 2 is this, which is 8.64. Okay, this is 8.64. Area 2 is the same, because this is exactly the same. It's a prism. So this is 8.64. I don't have to show the working for that. Area 3 is this bottom rectangle, and that is a rectangle, guys, because this would be square if you saw it in 3D. So it's just 7 times 3.6. That's length times breadth. 7 times 3.6. 7 times 3.6 is 25.2. Area 4 is this rectangle, which would be 7 times 4.8. 7 times 4.8. I'm going to risk doing this in my head, guys. 7 fours is 28 plus 5.6, would be 33.6. Obviously, feel free to use your calculator. And then finally, area 5 is this green one. It is also a rectangle, and it's just 6 times 2. Sorry, 6 times 7, which is 42. Probably why I said 2. So therefore, the total area is just the sum of all these. So let's just do it on our calculator, guys. That's 8.64 times 2, because there's 2 of them, plus 25.2 plus 33.6 plus 42 gives me this, which is 118.08. 118.08. He says 3 significant figures, so I'll say 118, and it's centimeters squared, and that's there anyway. Okay. Question 3. Here's a list of 6 numbers written in order of size. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to write them using boxes. So I have a box, 5, box, box, 10, 12, and essentially find the numbers that go in the box. So the first thing it says, it has a range of 9. So if the range is 9, this has to be 3, because range is biggest minus smallest. 12 minus 3. If you want to write it, 12 minus 3 equals 9. So this is 3. Then he says the median is 8. So a median, guys, when the 6th number goes right in the middle of these two, because there's 3 to the left, 3 to the right. So this median is 8, which means these two numbers have to be, well, they could be 7 and 9 like that, or they could be 8 and 8. But there's another restriction that I haven't used yet, and it's that the mode is 10. Now, if the mode is 10, I need at least one more 10, and it has to be exactly one more 10, because if the median is 8, this has to be less than 8. And it actually has to be exactly 2 less than 8, because 8 is 2 less than 10. So 8 is right in the middle of 10 and what's going to be 6. Because look, 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, or 6 plus 10 divided by 2 is 8. So it's right in the middle. So these are my 3 numbers. I have 3, 6, and 10. 3, 6, and 10. Okay. Question 4. Divya and Juan each pay for a holiday at a special offer price. Okay, the amount that Divya pays is the same as the amount that Juan pays. Work at the value of K. Okay, so Divya's holiday is this. A special offer, 16% off the normal price. So I'm going to do Divya here. Divya, 1600. I'm going to do times 0.84. Why 0.84? Because 100 minus 16. 100 minus 16 is 0.84, and this will take off the 16%. So let's do that first. 1600 times 0.84, 13,144. Sorry, 1344. And Juan's holiday, the normal price is this, and we're getting K% off. And the price will be the same as this. Okay, so Juan, normal price is 1400, and we need to get a certain amount off. So I'm going to say 1400, let's say x. Let's find what this multiplier is. So 1400x equals 1344, which means x is 1344 divided by 1400. Let's do this. 1344, I have it there, divided by 1400 is 24 over 25, or, sorry, what did I do there? 0.96. So x is 0.96. Now that means that 1344 is 96% of 1400. Therefore, how much off is she getting? Well, it's 4, because 100 minus 96 equals 4. So therefore, K equals 4. Okay, put it here, 4. Question 5. C grams of chocolate is shared in the ratio 2 to 5 to 8. The difference between the largest and smallest share is 390. Work out the value of C. Okay, that's actually kind of hard, guys. So we need to find the total. Okay, so it's 2 to 5, 2 to 5 to 8, but I don't know what to divide in this ratio. So why don't I call it 2x to 5x to 8x? And then 8x plus 5x plus 2x is the total, but I don't know what x is. But I do know that the biggest, which is 8x, minus the smallest, which is 2x, the largest minus the smallest, that's the difference, is 390 grams. So that means 6x is equal to 390, and that means x is equal to 6 into this goes 6 remainder 3, and 6 into that goes 5, so that is 65, guys. Again, feel free to use your calculator. So x is 65. That means the total is 7x plus 8x, which is 15x. Total is 15x. Therefore, C equals 15 times 65. Let's do that. 15 times 65 is 975. So C is 975. That's the total. Okay, solve the simultaneous equations. So we need to make the x's the same or the y's the same. I think I'll make the y's the same. So I multiply this one by 3. So multiply everything by 3, guys. I get 3x plus 6y equals 45. And you see why I chose 3, because now I have 6x on both. So this is 4x minus 6y equals 4. Put a line underneath. The signs are the signs are different, so I just add. Let's add the two equations. 3x plus 4x is 7x. 6y plus minus 6y is 0. And this is equal to 49, giving me x. 49 divided by 7, which is 7. So here x is 7. And then sub into equation 1. X plus 2y equals 15. Instead of x, I'm going to put 7. So 7 plus 2y equals 15. 2y equals 8. 15 minus 7. And then y is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So 7 and 4. Okay, question 7. Right, 9.32 times 10 to the power minus 5 as an ordinary number. So, guys, we just have to, well, my preferred method of doing this, guys, is write 0.00000000, enough zeros, definitely more than 5, right? So enough zeros, and then 932. And then I'm going to go to 9.32 because that's where the point is here. And I'm going to go 9.32 there, and I'm going to go back 5 because it's minus 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So stop here. How many zeros are there? There are 4. So the answer is 0.0000, 4 zeros, and then 932. 932. Okay. Work out this, give your answer in standard form. Easiest way, guys, is definitely to just use your calculator. You are allowed to do this. You can do 3 times 10 to the power of 5 minus 6 times 10 to the power of 4. And we get 240,000, so 240,000. So this equals 240,000, but he wants it in standard form, so that's 2.4 times 10 to the power of, then same thing, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to the end. So it's 2.4 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, then this one, so this question, guys, when he doesn't want you to use your calculator, he'll put numbers like this in. So these numbers are so big that if you do 3 times 10 to the power of 55 times 6 times 10 to the power of 65. You don't need the brackets there, guys, although you can put them in. But anyway, if you press this, you get math error because the calculator just can't deal with these numbers. 10 to the power of 55 and 10 to the power of 65 are absolutely humongous numbers. I think there's like approximately 10 to the power of 55 atoms in planet Earth. So that's how big a number that is. So how do I do it? Well, now I need to use my indices, my laws of indices skills. So I have 3 times 6 times 10 to the power of 55 times 10 to the power of 65. And this is 3 times 6 is 18. And it's times 10 to the power of, and now I just add the powers because that's the first rule of indices. You just add them, 110, 120. So that's 120. And then it has to be in standard form. So I have to make this 1.8 times. Now, if I'm making 18 10 times smaller, so I can't just divide by 10 without doing something to this. So I'll multiply this by 10. So I'll add 1 to the power. So I've made this 10 times smaller, but I've made this 10 times bigger. So I haven't changed the value of the number, but I have changed the form, which is to the form that I wanted, which is standard form. Okay. That is 1.8 times 10 to the power of 121. Question 18. Factorize fully. So first we'll look for a common number, common factor between 18 and 21. The only one I can think of is 3. So 3 goes into 18 and it goes into 21. The common letters are c squared, because there's a c squared here and a c squared here. Open bracket, I need another c. Well, actually, sorry, numbers first. I need a 6, because 6 times 3 is 18. I need another c, because c squared times c gives me the c cubed. And I need a d squared, because I need to get this d squared here. So this times this will give me 18 c cubed d squared. And then similarly here, I need 7, because 3 times 7 is 21, and it has to be minus. And I don't need any letter, because I already have c squared. So that's it. Factorize this. Okay, these are the easy ones, guys, because the coefficient of y squared is 1. So all I need are 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 18 and add to give me negative 3. So I have 6 and 3, and I'm going to go minus 6 plus 3, because minus 6 plus 3 is minus 3. So those are the factors. And then when he says hence solve this, well, the solutions are then y equals 6. It's only 1 mark, guys, so I'll just write down the answer. Y equals 6 or y equals negative 3. Those are my 2 answers. It's when this equals 0, so y equals 6, and when this equals 0, so y equals negative 3. It's the opposite sign of those two. Question 9. We have an isosceles triangle, ABC. The area of the triangle is 42. Work out the value of y. Okay, area of a triangle, guys, is... so let me just check the number of marks here. Yeah, this is 4 marks. This question actually isn't easy, but area of a triangle is a half base times height. Now let's call this h for height. So my plan is to get the height first and then just use Pythagoras' theorem to get y. So I can say a half, let's do a half base, which is 7, times height, which is h, is equal to 42. This is my area of a triangle is 42. Now I can multiply across by 2, multiply across by 2 and divide by 7, and that will give me 84 over 7, which is quite nice and neatly 12. So the height is 12. Now I can use Pythagoras' theorem, because if the height is 12, this is 3.5 because it's half of this. This is a right angle. So I can say 12 squared plus 3.5 squared equals y squared. And then y is equal to the square root of 12 squared plus 3.5 squared, and whatever this is the square root of, let's go over here, this is the square root of 12 squared plus 3.5 squared, which is 25 over 2, or 12.5. 12.5. Okay, that's question 9. Question 10. R and T are points on a circle, center O. This is 12, or T is 12, so that full thing here is 12. M is the midpoint, angle OM is 52. Work out the area of the circle, give your answer, correct to 3 significant figures. Okay, so obviously guys, we're trying to find the radius. The key here is to find the radius, and then I could just use pi r squared. What I do know is RT is 12 and M is the midpoint, so this is then 6. He's just making this needlessly complicated, guys. So this is 6, this is R, and this, importantly, is a right angle. This is a circle theorem, guys, that the line from the center meets a chord at right angles. So that's a right angle there. And once I know that's a right angle, I can use SOHCAHTOA. So my SOHCAHTOA is sine 52. I'm choosing sine because I have the opposite and I want the hypotenuse. That's the opposite, that's the hypotenuse. So sine 52 is opposite 6 over hypotenuse, or. And then rearrange this, I can say, well, let's just put in this step, or sine 52 is equal to 6, or is equal to 6 over sine 52. So my R is equal to 6 over sine 52, close brackets, and I get 7.6141. 7.6141. I'm not rounding it yet, well, not rounding it too much yet, because the area is then equal to pi r squared, area of a circle, which is equal to pi times 7.6141 squared, which is pi down here times 7.6141 squared, 182.132, 182.132, and then to 3 significant figures, 182. Third significant figure, that's a 1, so I just leave it like that. So it's 182 centimeters squared. Question 11. The table shows information about the times in minutes that 80 patients had to wait to see the doctor. Okay, cumulative frequency, guys. This is easy, but it's only 1 mark, unfortunately. But let's fill it in. We just add the numbers. So 7 plus 10 is 17. Plus 15 is 32. Plus 32 is 64. And plus 16 is 80. Okay, then on the grid opposite, or for me down below, draw a cumulative frequency graph for your table. So I need to go, the points are, if you recall, guys, the points are always these ones, 10, 7, it's the end here. So it's 10, 7, 20, 17, 30, 32, etc. So 10, 7, let's put that here, 10, 7, okay, 20, 17, and then 32. So 17 is here, 32 is here, 64 and 80. 64 is there, and 80 is at the top. Now he says draw a cumulative frequency graph for your table. So I need to join these up, and I need to start from 0 because it starts from 0 here, so that's important. So we're going to start at 0 and we're going to join these up. Now guys, as I always say, try and do this better than I am going to do it here, because I struggle to do this with my pen. Okay, that's not great here, guys, but it will do. Then he says use your graph to find an estimate for the median. So median, I just go to 40 here, go across and go down, and I'm actually kind of between 33 and 34. Let's just go 34. So 34, it says except 32, 33, or 34. So just make sure your graph is accurate. Then I need the quartiles. So this is actually where I might struggle, guys. In fact, I might draw this graph again here. So this bit really should have gone not quite like that either, but let's say I don't know, that's slightly better, but as I say, guys, you guys can do this more accurately than me, and that would have been on the 33 as well. Okay, so interquartile range, let's get upper quartile. So there's 80 people, so lower quartile is 20, so I go to 20 and down, that's 23, and here I go to 60 and across, that's 39. So 23, 39, let's do 39 minus 23, 39 minus 23, which is 16. And yeah, that's actually bang in the middle of what they wanted. They said 15, 16, or 17 is good. Okay, next question. Solve this. Okay, easiest thing to do, guys, I think, is to go, right, 2 to the power minus 4x is equal to 2 to the power of what? Now, it's 2 to the power of 5, guys. If in doubt, you just take out your calculator and go, you literally just go 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16 times 2 is 32. How many of them did I do? 5 of them. Okay, now, once the bases are the same, I can just equate them, because obviously, if 2 to the power of this equals 2 to the power of this, then that has to be equal to 5. And then I just divide x is equal to 5 over negative 4, which is equal to negative 1.25. So negative 1.25 or negative 5 over 4 is obviously fine too. Question 13. Use algebra to show that this equals this. Okay. We let x, or any letter you want, guys, equal to 0.3818181 ... The 8 and the one with the 2 dots on top means that those are the two numbers that are repeating, or at least that's the start and end of the recurring decimal. So here we have, that's x, and then I multiply it by 10. So I say 10x is 3.818181, and I keep going until I get two that are the same, or at least the same decimal. So here I have 38.18181 ... And now I do it again, because I still don't have, this one starts with a 3, this one starts with an 8, this one starts with a 1. The decimals are not the same, so let's multiply again. 1000x equals 381.818181. Now these are the same, guys. 818181 818181. So I'm going to say that this and this are the ones I am going to use. And I'm going to say 1000x minus 10x. So I'm going to subtract, I'm going to do this one minus this one, equals this minus this. Now, when you subtract these two, the decimals all disappear, which is nice. So you're just left with 381 minus 3, or 378. This minus this is 990, so it's 990x, equals 378. X is therefore equal to 378 over 990. Now he says show that equals 21 over 55. Well, if you do if you just put this into your calculator, guys, 378 over 990, we will see that this equals 21 over 55. Now what did I divide by? Well, let's just find out. 378 divided by 21. If you divide by 21, you get 18. So you could, although you don't actually need to show this step, guys, if you just write divide by 18, divide by 18. So you're dividing them both by 18, and you get this 21 over 55. Okay, that's question 13. Question 14. T equals P over R. P is this, R is this, both rounded to two significant figures. Work out the upper bound for T, right? So the way I do these, guys, is I draw a number line for P, and I draw another number line for R. And we say P is 0.51. Well, it's rounded to 0.51 to two significant figures. So the next one up that it would round to would be 0.52. The next one down here would be 0.50. Or is 6.3. Then up here would be 6.4. And down here would be 6.2. And then I'm going to calculate the lower bound for both. This guy, you don't have to do both of these guys, but I do upper and lower bound for both. 505. This guy is 6.25. It's halfway between these two and halfway between these two. And then the upper bound is halfway between these two, which is 0.515. And this guy is 6.35. Okay, then we say, right, we're trying to get an upper bound for T. So I say we want T to be big. If I want T to be big, that means I want my numerator to be big. P is going to be big. But I want my denominator to be small, because remember, if you divide by a number, you want that number to be small if you want the total to be big. So therefore, upper bound for T is equal to the big P, which is 0.515, over the small r, which is 6.25. That's the upper bound for P over the lower bound for R, which gives me 0.515, 0.515 divided by 6.25. I'll put it in a decimal, 0.0824. 0.0824. I'll put it here. Okay. Question 15. Complete the table of values for this function x and y. So it gives us some. So guys, the first step is to just put this into the calculator. So I'm going to go to menu, table. In here, I'm going to write the function x cubed minus 3x plus 2. Press enter again, because we only have one function, so ignore that. We're going to start at -2. We're going to end at 2. And guys, just be careful about the step. In this case, because they've already given me this, it doesn't matter. I could just do a step of 1. But if I needed like a 0.5, for example, then you do step 0.5. But I'll just go with step 1. That's fine, right? So it gives me -2 is 0. Let's just write that here. negative 2 is 0. 0 is 2. And then I'll go down here to 2, which is 4. Then he says, on the grid, draw the graph of this from negative 2 to 2, right? So I need to just plot these points. Negative 2, 0 is here. Negative 2, 0. Negative 1, 4 is here. Negative 0.5, 3.4 is there. That's 3.5. 0, 2 here on the y-axis. 1, 0 here. 1.5, 0.9. 1.5, 0.9 is here. And 2, 4 is there. Okay, so now I'm just going to join the dots. Now, guys, be careful. We don't want a situation where we go past negative 2 here. So start at negative 2 and end at 2. Okay, guys, I always apologize in advance about my drawings on these graphs is often poor. So whatever I do here, guys, you do better than me. So this is going to go through here. It's going to turn there. And then up here. Okay, that apart from the end, that is not too bad. Okay, let me just erase this a little bit here. Okay, so this is why they say use a pencil, guys, so you can arrange. And this right there isn't perfect either, so let me get rid of that. Okay, that's not too bad. Then he says here, by drawing a suitable line, a suitable straight line on the grid, use your graph to find an estimate for the solution of this. Okay, so the graph, so we need to use the graph, guys. The graph is y equals x cubed minus 3x plus 2. So let me write that here in a different color, guys. y equals x cubed minus 3x plus 2. That's what this is. Y equals x cubed minus 3x plus 2. Now, we're trying to solve this equation, but this is not the same as this. Now, it's similar, but it's not the same. So we need to make it the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, let's write this thing down here. 2x cubed minus 3x plus 4 equals 0. This is the equation we're trying to solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate the equation. I'm going to do something to the left hand side, and I'll do the same to the right hand side. But I'm going to make this the same as this. I'm going to turn this, the left hand side, into this. Now, how do I do it? Well, the first step is I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Why did I choose that? Well, this guy has a 2x cubed, he has a 1x cubed. This guy has a 4, this guy has a 2. So if I divide by 2, those will be the same. I'm going to have a bit of a problem here, but I'll show you how to deal with that in a second. So the first step is to divide by 2. Okay, now you could say, guys, why not first just subtract x cubed from both sides so they're the same? Well, you could, but then the left-hand side will be negative x cubed, which isn't useful because we need to draw a straight line. So that's no good. So what I'm going to do is divide by 2. So divide both sides by 2. I'm just going to actually write it here. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And 0 divided by 2, guys, is obviously still 0. So this divided by 2 is x cubed minus 3 over 2x plus 2. And 0 divided by 2 is 0. So this divided by 2 is just 1x cubed. 3 divided by 2 is 3 over 2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 0 divided by 2 is 0. Okay, so great. Now this looks very similar to this, but it's not the same. I need minus 3, and I have minus 3 over 2. So what do I do? Well, I'm going to subtract 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2x from the left and minus 3 over 2x from the right. Why did I choose that? Well, if you do, I already have minus 3 over 2x, but if I minus another 3 over 2x, this one, what I'm going to get is minus 6 over 2x, which is minus 3. So this is plus 2 equals, and I have to do 0 minus 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2x. And this is the line that I'm actually going to draw. So just to clarify, guys, because it's like minus 1.5x minus 1.5x is equal to minus 3x. That's why I subtracted 3 over 2, which is the same as 1.5. Okay, now we are going to simplify this. So I have x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2 equals minus 3 over 2x. So this is the line that I'm going to draw. So I'm going to actually write it here. Draw the line y equals minus 3 over 2x. Minus 3 over 2x. Okay. Now, let's go back up here. I'm going to draw minus 3 over 2x. How do I draw minus 3 over 2x? Well, I could, guys, if you know how to draw lines, you should actually be able to draw this. I'm going to draw y equals minus 3 over 2x. So this means the rise is 3 and the run is 2, but it's negative, so it's going down. So I'm going to go down 3 for every 2 across. 2, 3. So if I start here, because I'm going to go through, the y-intercept is 0, it's mx plus 0, so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go across 2 and down 3, like that. Or if you prefer, well, I don't have the 3, but look, I have 1, let's call this 1, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so it's like this, there. Okay, so we're going to draw this line here, but if you see, this actually continues on like this. So just make sure that line is straight. Well, I can do the same thing here, guys. Left 2, up 3, left 2, up 3. So it's going to go through here. That is fine. And where does this meet? Well, it meets here, exactly. So this, where this line meets there, and it's only going to cross this curve once because it's not crossing over here, and it's not crossing to the left. So this is the solution, and the solution, if I go down from here, is negative 1.7. So the solution is here, negative 1.7, because it's x that I'm trying to find. So x equals negative 1.7. Now, guys, if you didn't quite understand how I drew that graph there, although arguably you should, you can always just draw it with the calculator. You can just make another table and just do minus 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2x. Press enter. You can start at, it doesn't really matter because you just need 2 points, but let's start at negative 2 and end at 2. Step is 1, and here I get some points. So I have negative 2, 3, and look at mine is perfectly negative 2, 3. Negative 1, 1.5, negative 1, 1.5, perfect. 0, 0, 1, negative 1.5. So my graph is pretty much bang on, but obviously you just need 2 of these points, and then you just join the points and create a straight line. Okay, so x equals negative 1.7. There'll be some, my curve, guys, wasn't perfect, so it'll give you some leeway in the solution. I think it accepts a certain range. The answer I've actually written down is negative 1.6, but yeah, my graph isn't perfect, but yeah, I'm guessing that is within the range of acceptable marks. Okay, question 16. The function f is such that f of x is this. Find f of a third and find f of minus 1x. Okay, sorry, f minus 1x, that's the inverse function. So first, the f of a third, we're just going to sub in. This is only worth 1 mark, guys. So f of a third, we are just going to sub in a third for x. So it's just 2 over 3 times a third minus 5. Now, guys, 3 times a third is 1. 3 times a third is 1, and 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Simplify this is negative 1.5. So this is equal to negative, sorry, 0.5, negative 0.5. Obviously, you can use your calculator, guys, but hopefully you know how to do this. Okay, inverse function. So the way I do this, guys, is I let y, let y equal this 2 over 3x minus 5. And then, because I'm getting the inverse function, I swap x and y. Now you can do this at the end as well, but I just like to do it at the start because there's usually a marker for doing this. So we swap x and y. X is equal to 2 over 3x minus 5. And then, sorry, 2y minus 5. And then we rearrange to get y. So I'm just going to multiply by 3y minus 5 and divide by x. So I'm doing that in one step, guys. This times this and divide by the x. Then I'm going to subtract the 5. So 3y equals 2 over x. Sorry, add the 5 plus 5. And then I'll finally divide by 3. Okay, up here, guys, I'm actually going to just rearrange this to make it 2 plus 5x over x. Now all I did there is I added, it's like adding fractions. So the common denominator would be x, so I have to multiply, this is like 5 over 1, so I have to multiply the 5 by x to put it over x. Okay, and then finally I'll divide by this 3. 2 plus 5x divided by 3 is just like multiplying this denominator by 3, so it's 3x, like so. Okay, so that is the inverse function, and I should write this here because it's not y, it's inverse function. So it's 2 plus 5x over 3x. Okay, function g is such that g of x is equal to this. Express g of x in this form. Okay, I'll do this, guys, the long way, and I will do it the short way. So long way is first I'm going to take out the 5. I am going to take out a 5 here, and I'm going to say this is x squared minus 4x plus 23. So I've just taken the 5 out of the first 2 terms. This would be 5x squared minus 20x, which is obviously the same thing. Then I'm going to put a square bracket here, and I'm going to complete the square. That's what this is, guys. It's called completing the square, or putting it in vertex form. Then what I do is I do x minus 2. I half this and square it, and then I subtract 4. I always subtract this. Sorry, I always subtract this squared. Whether it's positive or negative, this is minus this squared. So sorry, whether that is positive or negative, this one is always negative. So I subtract this squared, which is 4. I close this bracket, and the plus 23 is just here on its own, doing nothing. It's fine. I then multiply out the bracket. So this gives me 5 times x minus 2 squared minus 20 plus 23, which is equal to 5 times x minus 2 squared plus 3. That is the answer. The quick way, guys, to do this is we go to menu, we go to equation, we go to polynomial, we go to degree 2 because it's a quadratic. We type in the quadratic, 5 negative 20 and 23, and then ignore the first 2. Those are the 2 solutions. They don't even exist. They're complex solutions, but this is what I want, 2 and 3. So I can say the minimum, the min is 2, 3. And once you have that, I can go straight to g of x equals 5 times, so this 5 is always the same. The a here is always the same as this a here. And then I go 5, I do x minus this. So whatever this number is, I change the sign. So it's minus 2 squared. And then I add this one, plus 3. And you can see, obviously, these two are the same. Okay, so I would argue, guys, these are generally very hard questions, completing the square. I would argue this, yeah, it's not easy, that's difficult. But this way is not difficult at all, as long as you just learn the method. Okay, question, I don't know why that's gone like that. Okay, question 17. AB is 4.6, BC is 8.3. ABC is acute. The area is this. Work out the perimeter of the triangle. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, perimeter, guys, I need to find this side. Okay, it's a triangle. Now, guys, I'm just going to check. Okay, it's 5 marks, which I expected quite a lot of marks because I can see there's a bit of work to be done here. So I need to find x. Now, my first thought is cosine rule. If I have 2 sides here, the cosine rule will help me get the third side. But to use the cosine rule, I need this angle. Let's call it theta. I don't have this angle. But they give me some information. The area of the triangle is 12. So this is obviously an important piece of information that we will use. Now, the area formula, area equals a half AB sine C. This is in the formula booklet. And forget the A, B, and C of this particular triangle, guys. What it means is it's a half this side times sine of the angle between. So it's any 2 sides and the sine of the angle between. So I'm going to do a half 8.3 times 4.6 times sine theta, and it tells us this is equal to 12. So I'm going to put this is equal to 12. Okay, now I am going to, right, whatever way you want to go about this, guys, I'm going to rearrange it. I'm going to say sine theta is equal to, and it's just 12 divided by this. So I'm going to do 12 divided by, guys, if you're okay, I'm going to do a half times 4.6 is 2.3. So it's 8.3 times 2.3. Now you could just multiply this all out, or you could divide by the half, whatever, but I just wanted to do, just to get rid of this half so I don't have a fraction in a fraction. So sine theta is this, and then theta I can get using inverse sine on my calculator. So if sine theta is that, let's just go back here, the inverse sine, shift sine gives me the inverse sine of 12 over 8.3 times 2.3. Sorry, I wrote x for some reason. 8.3 times 2.3. Close the bracket at the end. 38.947. Now I'll put I can leave the zeros, but let's put that whole thing. 38.947. 38.947. So that's this angle. Okay, now I have this angle, 38.947. I can comfortably use the cosine rule. And the cosine rule is, again, in the formula booklet, x squared equals this squared plus this squared, 4.6 squared plus 8.3 squared, minus 2 times 4.6 times 8.3 times the cos of the angle, 38.947. Okay, which means, well, let's just do all this in one go. I have 4.6 squared plus 8.3 3 squared minus 2 times 4.6 times 8.3 times cos of 38.947, close bracket. This is 30.6627. 30.6627. Now, a very common mistake, guys, is to just leave this. But I always say, look at your answer. Does that look like that this could be 30.66 when these two sides are so small? No, it cannot. And that is because this is x squared. So x is the square root of 30.6627, which is approximately equal to, we want three significant figures. Let's do square root, and I can do square root answer is equal to 5.537. So this is 5.537. Solve this equation. It says give your answer in this form. Okay, so we have some square roots. Okay, let's multiply this out. So I have root 3 times x is root, this is root, sorry, let me do that again. This is root 3x. Be careful, the x is not in the root, in the square root. So it's root 3x minus 2 times root 3 times root 3 is 2 times 3, which is 6. So this times this, guys, is 6. And there's obviously the minus there, so be careful. And this is equal to x plus 2 root 3. Okay, now I have, okay, let's just get x's on one side of the equation. So I have root 3x, root 3x minus 6 is equal to, sorry, what am I doing? Root 3x minus x is equal to 2 root 3 plus 6. And guys, this is a 4-mark question. Then I need to take out the x, factorize out the x. I have root 3 minus 1 is equal to 2 root 3 plus 6. And then I'm going to divide by this to get x on its own. X equals 2 root 3 plus 6 over root 3 minus 1. Now, he wants it in this form, guys. So now the question has become a more standard, more question that we're, like a question that we're used to, which is to rationalize the denominator. So to do that, to get rid of this denominator, I'm going to multiply above and below, which I can do, by root 3 plus 1, the conjugate of this. So whatever that sign is, change it. Root 3 plus 1. And then I'm going to multiply the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. This times this is 2 root 3 times root 3 again is 6, plus this times 1, which is 2 root 3, plus 6 times root 3, which is 6 root 3, plus 6 times 1, which is 6. That's this times this, the numerator. The denominator is then nicely root 3 times root 3 is 3, plus root 3 minus root 3 cancels, and we're left with, well, let's put it in, guys, plus root 3 minus root 3 and minus 1. And this gives us 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 2 root 3 plus 6 root 3 is 8 root 3. So it's 12 plus 8 root 3 over these two cancel. Plus root 3 minus root 3 is 0, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So we're just left with 2 on the bottom, and then we can divide above and below by 2, giving me 6 plus 4 root 3. So it's 6 plus 4 root 3. 6 plus 4 root 3. And that's the answer. Okay, that's question 18. Not easy, guys. Question 19. P is inversely proportional to y squared when y is 4, p is a. Find a formula for p in terms of y and a. Okay, so let's first write down P is equal to K over y squared, because it's inversely proportional, which means the y squared has to go at the bottom. The K is the constant, and proportionality constant, which is called K. And we're going to find K. So P is A when y is 4. So I'm going to put A for P and 4 for y. And that means K is equal to 4 squared times A. 4 squared is 16. So it's just 16 times A, which is 16A. So the formula for P in terms of y and A is P is equal to, and I'll write it here, P is equal to K over y squared, but I know K is 16A, so it is 16A over y squared. That's the formula for P in terms of A. Okay, sorry, let me get rid of that. Then he says, given also that y is directly proportional to root x, and when x is a, p is 4a, find a formula for p in terms of x and a. Okay, so let's go to this. Y is directly proportional to root x. So now I'm going to say y is equal to, I'm not going to use k, guys, because k has already been used. So another letter that I can use for constant, I could use C. I mean, you could use whatever letter you want, but I'm going to use T. I like T in this situation. So y is equal to, T is my constant of proportionality, and it's directly, so the root x goes above the line like this. Now he says x is a when p is 4a. So if y is equal to t root x, I am going to put this into this formula. So, okay, we're going to get P is equal to 16a over y squared. Now, y squared is this squared, and this squared, y squared, is equal to t root x squared, which is t squared x, because we square the t squared, and we square the root x, which gives me x. So this is P is equal to 16a over t squared x. Okay, now he says when P is 4a, so let's sub in 4a for P, 16a is still just 16a, and t squared is what I'm trying to find at the moment, and x is a, he says it here. Okay, so these a's cancel, and I have, let's multiply across by t squared. I have 4a t squared equals 16. So t squared is equal to 16 over 4a. If I divide by this 4a here, t squared is equal to 16 over 4 is 4, so it's just 4 over a. So t squared is 4 over a. And I'm trying to find a formula for p in terms of x and a. So now I'm going to go back to this p. I'm going to write therefore. I'm going to go back to this p. P is equal to 16a. That's fine. We want the a in it. And then the t squared is now 4 over a. So it's 4 over a instead of t squared. And x is just going to be x. Now be careful here, guys, because this is a fraction in a fraction. This is the same as 16a over big denominator line 4x over a. So just multiply out this 4x over a. 4x over a. Now if you remember, guys, how do we divide fractions? Well, we keep the top one, 16a. You could think of it as 16a over 1 if you like. And then we flip the second one and multiply. So it's multiplied by, it is multiplied by a over 4x. I flip this one upside down. And then I get 16a squared over 4x, and then the 16 over 4 cancels, so 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I get 4a squared over x, which is obviously quite a tricky question, guys. And this is then p, that's only 3 marks. P, one second, p is equal to 4a squared over x. Okay, that's question 19. Question 20. Here's a sketch of the curve y equals a cos x plus b. B is between 0 and 180. Find the value of a and the value of b. Okay, so a, guys, a is the amplitude. It's this distance here, from here to here. Now these boxes in the y direction are just 1, so it's 1, 2. So this is 2. Now just be careful, guys. A could be negative 2, depending on what's going on with b here. I will explain to you in a minute once I show you b why it's actually 2. So b is positive, which means this, when you add b inside the brackets, what you actually end up doing is you end up moving the graph to the left. So this graph, this is going to move my normal cost graph to the left. Now my normal cost graph would be, my normal 2 cost graph would start here, go through here, down to here, over to here, and up to here. Now guys, you do need to know how to draw this. So, well, you certainly need to know how to draw the, let me just draw the cost graph first, guys. The cost graph starts at 1, goes through here, there, there, and there. Now you need to know that, right? This goes down through there. And if in doubt, guys, just use your calculator to get costs of 0, costs of 90, costs of 180, costs of 270. Okay, so that's costs, that's y equals cos x. Then y equals 2 cos x starts here, goes through here, down through here, over through here, and up through here. So this is basically double. You just multiply the y coordinates by 2. So this guy goes down through there, turns there, up through here, and over through there. So that's cos x. Now this blue graph, I can ignore sorry, that's y equals 2 cos x. So I can ignore the orange graph for now. Maybe I could even delete it, guys, just so it's not distracting. Now this blue graph, this is my 2 cos x, has been moved to the left, and that's how we're going to find b. Now how much has it been moved to the left? Well, let's focus on this minimum point, or you could look at this maximum point, but let's look at the minimum. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on the curve. So I've moved it 3 boxes to the left, but just be careful, guys. The box in the x coordinate is not 1, it's actually 45, because that's 45, then 90, 135, 180. So how much? 3 boxes, or 3 times 45 is equal to 135. So b is actually equal to 135. So this b is 135, and this is why a is equal to positive 2, because if a was negative 2, that means we're starting here. This is actually negative cos 2x. It's flipped. Instead of starting there and going down, we start at the bottom and go up. And we know, because b is between 0 and 180, I need to move this graph left to get onto the black graph. If it said, and this would be a really hard question, if it said b is negative, then that means this graph would be moved to the right, and b would actually be equal to b would be equal to negative 45, because that negative 45 moves it to the right. So actually 2 cos of x plus 2 cos x plus 135 is the same graph as minus 2 cos x minus 45. So they would be the same if you drew them. Anyway, That's just something extra. These are the two marks. Okay, question 21. The diagram shows a triangular prism, ABCDEF, base ABCD. These values are given. Work out the angle BE here to here. Work out the angle, that BE makes with the plane. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. Okay, so first things first, guys. What angle are we actually trying to find? Okay, now we are trying to find BE, the angle BE, but the angle that it makes with the plane. So I have to go back underneath DE. So this triangle here, this is the angle we're looking for. This one here, and let's call it theta for the angle. Okay, now to find this this angle, I need two sides. Now I have one, 2.2, nice. What I don't have is another side. So what I can do, guys, is, okay, which side will I get? I think I'll get this side here. Let's get this side, and I'll get it by using this triangle, and to use this triangle I need this side. Okay, so this is complicated, but let me break it down. I'm going to start by getting this length DA. So to get D, let's get DA first, and once I have DA, I can use Pythagoras to get this length. Let's call it Y. Okay, so first let's get X. Now I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA because this is a right angle triangle, so I'm going to say tan 18 is equal to 2.2 over X, which means if I multiply across, X is equal to 2.2 and divide across by tan 18, 2.2 over tan 18. So let's do that. 2.2 over tan 18, close brackets, 6.7709. 6.7709. Does that look kind of right? I think so, because that's 6. That could be 6.7709. Fine. Now I have that length here. Now look, we have another triangle. Let's maybe draw this orange triangle here with, I'll just do a dotted line here so I don't erase the green. So here I have this orange triangle, and in the orange triangle I have, this is a right angle. This is a right angle here, and that is, I can find y using Pythagoras' theorem. So I can say x squared plus 6 squared equals y squared, and I know x, it's 6.7709, so I can say, well, let's just do y squared equals, I'm going to do this squared plus 6 squared. Okay, I'm going to do 6.7709 squared plus 6 squared, which is 81.845. 81.845. I'll do dot 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 because I'm not just going to get the square root of the answer. Square root of this, square root ants, gives me 9.0468. 9.0468. Okay, now I have y, and I have 2.2, so I can just get, so this question wasn't that bad, guys. It's not easy, but for question 21, it's not too bad. So I can say tan of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 2.2, adjacent is y, or 9.0468, and then theta is equal to, I just need the inverse tan, so shift tan, inverse tan, 2.2 over 9.0468, close bracket, 13.66788. 13.66788. But anyway, he only wants it to whatever, he only wants it to 1 decimal place, so it's 13.7 degrees. Okay, fine, 4 marks. 22. The diagram shows triangle OAB with OAB and OA extended to E. OA is A, OB is B. M is the point in OB such that OM to MB is 4:1. Okay, so this is OM to MB, so this is actually 4/5. This is 4/5 B, and this is 1/5 B. Just this to this. N is the point on AB such that AN to NB is 3:2. So this would be 3/5. This is 3/5. Well, actually, I don't know what that vector is, so let's leave that for a second. And then OA to AE is 5:3. Now OA is A, and A to E is, well, it's just 3/5 of this. So, okay, it's 3/5 A. That's from here to here. Okay. A, find an expression for ON in terms of A and B. Okay, so first thing, guys, I'm going to get is BA, and then I'll just do OB plus BA. So that seems fairly straightforward. BA is equal to minus B plus A, which is A minus B. So BA is equal to A minus B. And now I can actually go and use this ratio that I was going to do. So this would be 3/5 A minus B. And this would be going that way, though, just to be clear, guys. That's going that way, that's going that way, that's going that way, that's going that way, and that's going that way. And this would be 2/5, because it's the ratio 3:2. But AN is the bigger one, so 2/5 A minus B. And again, that's going that way. Okay, so now I just need to get ON. So ON is equal to OB plus BN. OB plus BN, which is OB is B, and BN is 2/5 of this. 2/5 A minus B, which is B plus 2/5 A minus 2/5 B, which is 3/5. Well, let's start with the A. 2/5 A plus 3/5 B. Okay, that is part A. Part B. Use a vector method to show that MNE is a straight line. Okay, guys, I'm just going to copy this and bring it down because I need to see it. So this is going to be, let's just do this. Okay, nice. Right, I need a vector method to prove that MNE is a straight line. So he's going from M to N to E. Now, guys, it's obviously not drawn to scale, but it says it very clearly. It's not drawn to scale, but that's essentially what he's doing. M through N. Okay, I'll just make that a bit bigger. Through there. That's a straight line. Okay. Now, if they're on a straight line, then essentially MN, this is the key to the question, MN, and it says show, guys, so I'm going to write this clearly. If on a straight line, then MN is parallel or in the same direction. Let's just go parallel to N E. So look, if you've got 3 points like this, let's call it M, N, E, and you're saying this M, N is in the same direction as N, E, then obviously they're on a straight line. That's kind of the idea. Okay, so let's just find Mn, and we'll find Ne, and hopefully they'll be multiples of each other. So Mn is, we're going to go a fifth b, so we've already drawn these out, which is useful. So we've got a fifth b plus 2/5 of this, which is 2/5, well, a minus b. This is a fifth b plus 2/5 a minus 2/5 b, which is 2/5 a minus 1/5 b, because it's a fifth b minus 2/5 b. So that's Mn. And then Ne is equal to 3/5 a minus b plus 3/5 a, which is 3/5 a minus 3/5 b plus 3/5 a. 3/5 plus 3/5 is 6/5. 6/5 a minus 3/5 b. Now look, if I multiply this by 3, then I get this. So I'm going to say Ne, this one, is actually equal to 3 of this one, because if I multiply this by 3, I get this. So Ne is 3Mn, therefore parallel, and therefore M, N, E lie on a straight line. Okay, well, that's it. That's the proof. Okay, question 23. G is the point on the curve of the equation this, where the gradient is 10. The straight line Q passes through the point G that is perpendicular to the tangent at G. Find an equation for Q. Give your answer in this form. Right, certainly not an easy question, guys. So G is the point on this where the gradient is 10. Right, gradient, keyword, gradient is the derivative. So as soon as I see that, because I'm not dealing with like coordinates and I just have a function, as soon as I see gradient, I think, right, I'm going to have to differentiate. So y is 8x squared. And even if you can't do the rest of the question, guys, look, just by differentiating here, you're going to get some marks. Okay, that's y. The derivative is dy dx. Multiply by the power, 16x. 14x just becomes 14, and this becomes 0. So that's the derivative. Now he says where the gradient is 10. So where the gradient is 10 is like where the derivative equals 10. So I'm going to say 16x minus 14 equals 10. Find x, right? 16x equals 10 plus 14 is 24. X is 24 divided by 16, which is actually 3/2. Okay, so I have my x coordinate. Now he says the straight line Q passes through the point G and is perpendicular to the tangent at G. Okay, now a few things. First, I need, if x is 3/2, I need to find y. So my point, okay, let's go over here. My point G, well, let's write G. G is 3/2, and then I need to find y. So how do I find y? Well, y is equal to, when I sub 3/2 into this, it's 8 times 3/2 squared minus 14 times 3 over 2. You can use 1.5 if you prefer, guys. Minus 6. I think I'm just going to use my calculator here. Don't know why I'm considering not. So 8 times 1.5 squared minus 14 times 1.5 minus 6 is negative 9. Okay, so that's a nice number, negative 9. So my point G is 3 over 2, negative 9. Okay, the gradient of Q, so this is the point, my gradient of Q, which is the line, the gradient of Q is perpendicular to this gradient. So the gradient of Q, let's call it M, is negative 1 over 10. If you recall, guys, the perpendicular is the negative reciprocal. So if this is 10 over 1, we flip it, negative 1 over 10, and we change the sign. Okay, now we have, and I'll just draw a line down here, guys. Now we have the point and the gradient, and we just have to find the equation of the line, which isn't that difficult because we have because we know how to do this. We just sub in these things. So our equation of the line is y equals mx plus c. Our y we're going to sub in is negative 9. Our m is negative 1 over 10. Our x is 3 over 2. 3 over 2. And our c is what we're trying to find. So plus c. So let's just simplify this a bit. Minus 9 equals multiply top minus 3, multiply the bottom, 20. Therefore, plus c. Therefore, c is equal to minus 9 plus 3 over 20. So it's minus 9 plus 3 over 20. Let's just use this. 3 over 20, which is minus 177 over 20. Minus 177 over 20. Luckily, guys, we have a calculator. Okay, so now we have C. So the equation is, therefore, I'll write it down here, y is equal to mx minus 1 over 10 x plus c, which is minus 177 over 20. Now he wants it in this form, ax plus by plus c equals 0. So I'm going to have to multiply across. I'm going to multiply across by 20, guys, right? That'll remove the 20 and the 10. 20 times y is 20y. 20 times this is minus 2x, because 20 divided by 10 is 2. And we have the minus. And 20 times this removes this 20, so I'm just left with minus 177. And then we need to get everything on the left, so I'm going to add the 2x, add the 20y that's already here, and then add the 177, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so that's a tricky question, obviously, guys. Just read the question carefully and see if you can pick out what they're actually asking for. Okay, I think this is the last question. Question 24. Arithmetic sequence. First term 8, common difference 11. It is k terms, where k is greater than 21. The sum of the last 20 terms of the sequence is this. Find the value of k. Okay, this is obviously tricky, guys. So we've two formulae for arithmetic sequences. Only one, though, we are given. So yeah, we're given the sum formula. This is in the formula sheet. It's S of n is equal to n over 2 2a plus n minus 1 d. This is the formula booklet. Now he says the sum of the last 20 terms is this. Find the value of k. Okay, so the sum of, okay, it has k terms. Okay, so this is how we're going to get the sum of the last 20 terms. I'm going to get the sum, so the sum of last 20 terms is equal to the sum of all the terms, I'm going to call that k, the sum of k terms, minus the sum of, let me get this straight, minus the sum of k minus 20 terms. Okay, now why is that true? Well, think about it. If I define the sum of the last 20 terms, or sorry, imagine there was 100 terms and I define the sum of the last 20 terms. I do the sum of the 100 terms minus the sum of the first 80 terms, and that would give me the sum of the last 20 terms. So that's similar. Instead of 180, it's k and k minus 20. Now, obviously, guys, this is going to be super hard because I need to create an equation, solve the equation, etc. But that's the first kind of key step. Okay, let's now get s of k and s of k minus 20. And I'll do them, I think I'll do them separately. So s of k, I'm doing a different color and everything. S of k is k over 2 times 2a. Now a is 8. I'll just put an arrow there. A is 8 and d is 11. These are given. So k over 2, 2 times 8 plus n minus 1 d. Now our n is k, so this is k minus 1 times d, which is 11. Okay, so I think this is the easier one. This is going to be k over 2 into 16 plus, multiply this out, 11k minus 11, which is k over 2, 16 minus 11 is 5, so it's 5 plus 11k. Okay, and I'll leave it like that. That's s of k. Then I want s of k minus 20. Now, I just have to sub k minus 20 in for n. So this is going to be k minus 20, that's n over 2, brackets, 2a, that's my 2 times 8, I'll just put in 16, plus k minus 20 minus 1. So that's k minus 20 minus 1 is k minus 21, because it's k minus 20 minus 1. And then the d is 11. Okay, k minus 20 over 2. Simplify this. 16 plus 11 times k is 11k. And now I have minus 21 times 11. This, guys, I need to do it with my calculator. 21 times 11, 231. So it's 11k minus 231. Which is equal to k minus 20 over 2. 16 minus 231. 16 minus 231 is minus 215. So this is 11k minus 215. Okay, now remember I said this minus this, and it equals that. So let's create an equation. My equation is going to be, I'll go back to blue. My equation is going to be this, k over 2, 5 plus 11k, minus this, and yes guys, I'm well aware this looks horrible. Okay, minus this is equal to, because he tells us the sum is equal to 10,170. 10,170. And now, as horrible as this looks, at least I have, sorry, there's a k there, guys, I nearly missed. 11k. At least I have an equation that I need to solve, right? So, how am I going to solve it? And they could have given me more space. The first thing I'm going to do, guys, is get rid of these 2's, because I don't like them. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. minus, if I multiply by 2, I'll get rid of this 2, get rid of this 2, and I need to multiply this by 2. So this becomes k minus 20 times 11k minus 215. This equals, this times 2, so it's 20,340. Use your calculator, guys, to multiply that by 2. Let's multiply this out. 5k plus 55k minus, now be very careful, guys, just leave the minus there and multiply out these two brackets. So, oh, and sorry, I did something really silly. Sorry, guys, let's go back. This is 5k plus 11k squared. It's k times 11k is 11k squared, sorry. Okay, leave that minus, multiply these two brackets out. K times 11k is 11k squared. K times minus 215 is minus 215k. Minus 20 times 11k is, that would be minus 220k. Use your calculator. And then plus, and definitely use your calculator for this, 215 times 20. 215 times 20 is 4,300. And it's plus, guys, because of the minus. So it's plus 4,300. And this equals 2340. Okay, now remember we had this minus here, guys, for a reason. So we've got our 5k plus 11k squared minus 11k squared. Okay, this is good news, guys, because our k squareds are going to cancel. So it's minus 11k squared plus 215k. This becomes plus. This becomes plus 220k. And this becomes minus 4,300 equals 2340. Now, nice. I was really hoping I didn't have to solve a quadratic here, and I don't. So they have gone. Now let's add these up. So 215 plus 220 is 435 plus 5 is 440. So this is 440k equals this plus this, which is 24,640. 24,640. That's just this plus this, and then k is equal to this divided by this. Please give me something nice. 24640 divided by 440, and I get 56, which is very nice. And the correct answer, k is equal to 56. Okay, so guys, yeah, obviously that's really hard. I thought it was even harder though, because I thought I was going to have to solve a quadratic at the end, but this worked out quite nicely. But still, yeah, a very difficult question and quite a difficult paper, to be honest. Okay, that's it, guys. That is the paper finished. See you in the next one.